Yo, what up, everyone? We are back in the building. As a matter of fact, it's your boy Divine Sense Boxing in the building. Salute to everyone dropping in early, man. I appreciate you. I see Arturo and Mangus Allen having a little conversation in the chat to get things popping. Mangus Allen, typically one of the first ones in the building, man. I appreciate you. Good to see you as well. Arturo, it's been a few lives since I've seen you. Good to see you. We got boxing matchups with Dwayne Freeman in the building. What's good, bro? Hope you're good out there. We got MP what the fuck with Yo. Also, Plat Boys in the building. Everyone's starting to file in. I appreciate you guys. I know it's a little bit late out there where you guys are at. It's more than likely been a interesting weekend for you. Hopefully it's been good. I know it's been hot. I know shit's starting to heat up in the States. I hear people talking throughout social media. Where I'm at, we're starting to tap into rainy season, man. So a lot of rain, a lot of humidity. But nonetheless, man, shit, it's summertime, man. So we got to keep that heat blazing. Just switch it over to boxing, you know, put that heat into boxing, man. Continue to talk about the sport. So first thing that I want to do is give my post-fight thoughts. Post-fight thoughts on the fight itself. Ryan Garcia versus Javier Fortuna. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to go live and do live commentating. That was unfortunate, a little bit disappointing, man, but just too tied up, just way too tied up, man. But anyways, it's still fresh in our minds. It's about a day later. So I want to go ahead, like I said, and give you guys my thoughts about the fight itself. And then I'm going to start to swing into conversations about Ryan Garcia, his future. What do I think, he should do? What are the possibilities? Obviously, Tank Davis is a massive part of that conversation, which I'll discuss in tonight's live. In the meantime, there is a poll in the chat. Make sure that you vote in the poll. Let me know what you think in that poll. As we go along, I'll refer back to that poll to see where it's at, where it's standing, and continue to, discuss the possible opportunities at play. Jeremiah King, in the building. What's good, bro? Good to see you. All right. Just making sure I didn't miss anybody that's in here already early. So let me go ahead and get into this post-fight thoughts, man, about the fight itself. I had to go back and rewatch it, obviously, because I wasn't able to watch it live. I'm going to keep it 100 with you guys, man. No ifs, ands, or buts. Ryan Garcia is just straight up styled on the dude. I think going into it, they didn't put too much thought behind the fight itself. Obviously, you guys pay attention to the channel, so I didn't do a prediction video of the fight. But if I had to be honest with you, I thought that Fortuna was going to do a little bit better. I thought that he had a little bit of a slick style to him, fighting in that southpaw position. Perhaps he would give Ryan Garcia some problems, but just wasn't the case. He didn't look like he was in the best of shape, in my opinion. I just don't see him. That's not the best Fortuna that I've ever seen. It looked like a last-minute Fortuna, basically, in my opinion. And I think with the body shots that he succumbed to was a clear indication that he wasn't in great fighting shape. That's my opinion. That's my eye test. That's what I saw. But to be honest with you, got to give full credit to Ryan Garcia, man. He stepped in there. He said he was going to put on a show. He said he was going to show people that, he is a force. So you can't deny that. I mean, knocked him down, whatever it was, I think a total of 3 times. And Fortuna ended up quitting. Like, no mas, bro. That's exactly what it was. No mas. This dude just stayed up on a knee, refused to get up. And for me, it's the body shot. I think that initial body shot that he got, what was it, in the 4th round, that first knockdown, that was it. I don't think he ever truly recovered after that. He got knocked down, I believe, in the 5th, and then, of course, in the 6th. So I just don't think that he had anything really left after that first initial body shot, because that was a pretty ruthless body shot. That was a step in, boom, left hook, caught him beautifully. I mean, you can hear and feel that punch land, man. And I just don't think that he truly recovered. Obviously, he spit out his mouthpiece, a little bit of a veteran tactic right there. Tried to gain some extra time, and he did. I mean, he had like a 20-second fucking recovery moment there. But I don't think it really mattered. I think at that moment he thought, man, I don't know if I can handle this. I don't even know if I'm in shape to handle this. I think there was a lot of self-doubt, in my opinion. And that's the fight game, man. You can't discredit Ryan Garcia for that. Ryan Garcia's in there doing what he needs to do. And on that note, he needs to do that. He needed a performance like that, because even Ryan Garcia knows himself that a lot of people are talking shit about him, and rightfully so in a lot of regards. All of this Instagram and tweets and long layoffs and calling out this dude and that dude, but then don't really fight anybody, and we know what it is, man. So he really had no choice but to come in and put on a performance like that. So he did. And at the end of the fight, he called Tank Davis. He wasn't even asked about Tank Davis. I thought that was kind of funny. He wasn't even asked about Tank Davis. He just said it. So that's what's on deck, in my opinion. Then it kind of swings into the conversation of, all right, so If they do fight, where is it going to be at? Is it going to be at 135? Is it going to be at 140? Ryan Garcia just fought at 140. Obviously, the dude is even at 135, he's a very big lightweight, right? Going into 140, he looked good at 140. And he's still a pretty big light welterweight, right? Or super lightweight, however you want to fucking frame it, right? He's still a big 140 pounder. Regardless if it's at 135 or 140, he's going to look bigger and probably way more than Tank Davis on fight night. It doesn't really matter which weight class it is. He's going to be naturally bigger than Tank Davis. Now, we've learned from Tank Davis that doesn't necessarily matter if a guy's bigger than him. We've seen him put to sleep much bigger opponents, naturally bigger opponents. So that's not really an indication that Ryan Garcia is going to win the fight easily or at all, but it is a talking point, right? It is a talking point that Ryan Garcia will be bigger than Tank Davis. So I like the fact, and I always like the fact, that when fighters, win, they call out who they need to call out. They don't beat around the bush. Oh, I'm going to talk to my promoter. Just let the people know. I've always appreciated that, just like I appreciated Errol Spence calling out Bud Crawford after he beat Ugas, right? I think it matters when fighters do that. And they're specific. They call out a specific name, right? Like I said, I think it matters. And Ryan Garcia did that. Now, Ryan Garcia is not shy of saying all kinds of crazy shit, right? He's guilty of not necessarily practicing what he preaches. But now he's at that status in his career now where he can't get away with that much longer, right? You're running out of opponents that are C plus B fighters, right? Now the walls are kind of closing in on him, and the only options that are available for him are A and A plus fighters, right? You might be able to sneak in an A minus fighter, but regardless, you're starting to tap into the top tier fighters of your division, whether it's 135 or 140. I think that he's going to stay at 140. It makes sense to me. He's growing up. His body's starting to fill out. And he's still going to be a big 140 pounder regardless. Now, before I continue to chop away at a potential Tank Davis fight, and by the way, I sent a few links out to people. We'll see if they join in later to jump into this conversation. But I want to talk something really quickly about Rolly Romero. Now, to me, take all the dumb shit that Rolly Romero says and just put it to the side, right? Because he just says a lot of dumb shit all the time. I mean, recently, at the tail end of a Ryan Garcia victory of stopping Fortuna, right? He starts talking about Errol Spence at 147. It's like, bro, what? But anyways, that might be another live. But in my opinion, without that bullshit distraction, because to me that's a distraction. Errol Spence literally replied laughing, essentially. Like there's no need to respond to that. But without that, to me, a Rolly Romero fight with Ryan Garcia would be a very entertaining fight. That, of course, if the Tank Davis fight isn't the first option available, with different promoters, Mayweather Promotions, there's so much instability when it comes to trying to make that fight. Number one, what weight class is it going to be at? Number two, per split. Number three, who's going to be the A side? Number four, the obvious promotional side of things. Number five, the ongoing drama between just Tank Davis and Floyd Mayweather. Just that itself is drama, right? So you got 5 or 6 situations that makes a Ryan Garcia fight very difficult. Not impossible, but very difficult. So it's a situation where I'm not going to hold my breath. I'm hopeful, but I'm not going to hold my breath. Now, the Ryan Garcia, Rolly Romero fight, is a good fight, in my opinion. The reason why I say that is because obviously the promotional side of things of that fight will be fucking hilarious. All right. They both have their kind of swag and they both talk shit, but in different ways. And Rolly's going to be the villain and Ryan will be the good boy, right? And so that is a masterpiece waiting to happen as far as the promotion side of things. Now, as far as the fight itself, at 140, right, we know that Rolly's going to come out. Rolly has a lot of reasons to redeem himself, and he'll come out guns blazing. And I think that he'll be far more aggressive than what Fortuna was this past Saturday night. I think Rolly will come out and try to knock Ryan Garcia's head off, which is great. Ryan needs that type of pressure. He needs to deal with the psychological effect that Rolly's going to try and play for the fight buildup to see if he can get into Ryan's head. Ryan's always been essentially the favorite in all of his fights. And even though there's a bit of shit talking here and there between particular fighters, he's always had the confidence based off of the media. The media gives him the confidence. The people around him give him the confidence because, quite frankly, the people that he's been fighting is not really on his level. Like, let's keep it real. Now, Rolly may not be, quote-unquote, on his level, but Rolly don't give a fuck. And he's going to try to get in Ryan's head. Ryan needs that, in my opinion, to show that he can deal with somebody as chaotic as Rolly is on the promotional side of things. Go in there in a fight and deal with a guy who's basically going to try and knock him out with every punch. Right? And he needs to show that he can handle a guy like that. Which I think will make him better for the promotional side of things. I think it sells himself better leading into a Tank Davis fight. Now, that is my opinion. But who knows what Rolly's thinking or doing, because he's always saying off the wall shit. It's kind of odd because, like I said, like tail end of the fight, I mean, naturally you should want to call out Ryan Garcia, right? Ryan Garcia just knocked out Fortuna at 140. You're at 140. You can fight at 140. So why wouldn't you call out a guy who just won? Why don't you try to catch that train? And quite frankly, you need redemption because you got knocked the fuck out. That's the crazy thing about it. It's like you just got knocked out, and because you're in such denial that you were, quote unquote, winning the fight against Tank Davis, that somehow you're going to get a fight with Errol Spence. It's ridiculous. But I take it with a grain of salt. My scenario, like I said, would be Rolly versus Ryan. Get that fight over with. But then it's like, okay, well, if Ryan then does engage with somebody else, who's left for Tank? Who should Tank fight next? Is he going to fight Shakur? Probably not. Is he going to fight Devin Haney? Probably not. So I don't know, man. I think it's a very difficult situation for Tank. Tank's in a between a rock and a hard place because of his promotional situation. It's like you won't fight Devin, you won't fight Shakur for obvious reasons, because Mayweather doesn't want you to put you in those type of fights, and you won't fight Ryan more than likely just because the different, once again, promotional issues. So I don't know, man. I don't know. But for the sake of argument, looking at the poll here with 20 votes in the poll now, 80% says no way, Tank is too skilled for Ryan Garcia. So let me get into my thoughts about that fight, that potential fight, just real quickly, breaking it down a little bit more, I guess scientifically, in a lack of better word, stylistically, get into my breakdown of that fight. Look, Ryan Ryan's got hand speed. He 100% has hand speed. He 100% has pop in his punches. He can hurt you with the left hook to the body. He can hurt you with the left hook. He can hurt you with the right hand down the pipe. He's got several weapons in which he can hurt you with. I mean, hate him or love him, it's boxing and it's fact, right? Now, does that mean that he is, is he not vulnerable? Well, he's very vulnerable. We've seen him, get caught in exchanges. As a matter of fact, Fortuna at one point hit him, I think was like a left hand or a right hook or something like that in the southpaw position, and he kind of got staggered, kind of got tripped up a little bit. He fights sometimes with his chin up in the air in exchange. And that's just a dangerous situation with Tank Davis, because Tank Davis has mastered, in my opinion, the ability to duck underneath shots and loop something around the top in a southpaw position as well. And unlike Fortuna, Tank's got real power. And we've seen Ryan be hurt before. We've seen Ryan be dropped before. And I don't really think, he said in the post-fight thoughts that he's like, I made adjustments. People are always trying to do the same shit to try and hurt me. It won't happen again. Okay, maybe in that very particular punch, but I just see a lot of other holes. And Tank Davis is very, very good at exposing those vulnerabilities. He has done it repeatedly. Even if he's losing a round or looking like he's getting bullied a little bit, he still figures out a way to find that hole in your game, and he capitalizes on it. And so it's a very interesting fight, because Ryan, if he has you in front of him behind his range, he could essentially try to just pick apart Tank Davis from distance, because he's going to have the reach advantage, he's going to have the height advantage, and he's got power to keep anybody off of him from 135 to 140. But if Tank is able to utilize footwork, pivots, and duck underneath shots, catching and shooting, slipping and countering, Ryan is open and vulnerable. All right, so what's up, Thrill Hill? Tony Forrester, what's good? Plug Cap, what's good? What's up, Moped? So yeah, I feel like it's an intriguing fight stylistically. It's an intriguing fight promotional wise. And you got two guys who can crack. You got one guy who's a better boxer, a better elusive defensive / counter puncher in Tank Davis, against a guy who is also a boxer puncher in his own right, in my opinion. Like, Ryan Garcia is not just purely a puncher. He puts combinations together very well. He's not as defensively sound as Tank Davis. He doesn't look for slip counters as much as Tank Davis. He loads up on shots way more than Tank Davis. One thing that I do like about Ryan is he does dedicate to the body. He does emphasize body attack, something that we don't always see in boxing, right? You see an occasional body shot here and there, but Ryan Garcia really emphasizes a body attack, similar to Earl Spence. Earl Spence also likes to step into that body. Tank, he's so slick and elusive and quick and got power that sometimes, in my opinion, he neglects the body. Now, does it matter? It hasn't mattered thus far, because he's just been catching people in the sweet spot and putting them to sleep. But will it matter in a Ryan Garcia fight? What's up, K-Rod? What's up, Demon? We got my man Platt Boys in that super chat to kick things off, bro. I appreciate you. He said, these fighters talk more than ever and never engage. Oh, yeah. A lot of talking. A lot of talking. That's the age of social media, bro. These dudes talk more on social media than they do in real life. That's why I always emphasize the idea that fighters need to show up to fights. Fighters need to approach their potential opponents that are in their division, especially champions, or contenders and hype fights up. Like, go up to the dude and be like, yo, I'm taking those belts. Or, yo, you're not number one, I'm number one. You know, that classic shit. That classic shit is actually what makes fights happen. All the tweets, because it becomes so watered down over time. The tweets, the Instagram post, the reply. Y'all talking on Instagram together, but what are you guys saying exactly to each other's face? Like, I mean, it's not that difficult. You're professional fighters. Everybody knows each other, right? Everybody knows each other. You've been to multiple gyms, boxing gyms around the country. You've trained with different coaches here and there. You've sparred with a large pool of people in your weight class. Everybody knows each other. It's not that difficult to arrange a meeting and talk some shit. Like they did in the old days. Run into each other on the streets. Right? Hype up the fight. And so that day, I want to say it's dead, but it's dying. It's dying. But that's part of the criticism that Ryan Garcia gets is, and I think he knows it. I think he recognizes it. I think he knows that he's been probably caught up a little bit too much in the social media scene. And I think he's now starting to realize that that's actually having a negative side effect. And he needs to start practicing what he preaches. Like I said, the walls are closing in on Ryan Garcia now. He's running out of C-class and B-class fighters. There's not much out there left for him to continue to fight. He's being forced to fight these A-class fighters. I appreciate the super chat, Plat Boy, bro. Thank you. What's up, Don? Good to see you in the building, bro. So, you know, I think as far as the most intriguing fight, obviously, is Ryan Garcia, Tank Davis. But I also think a Rolly and a Ryan Garcia fight will be very entertaining. It doesn't have the same value as a Tank and Ryan fight, but it's still going to be entertaining. I think that it's a fight that you can, you know, easily sell and promote. And it doesn't hurt Ryan Garcia to also, essentially show that he can handle a guy like Rolly, not only in the ring, but also on the promotional side of things. Show that he has some mental fortitude. I don't think he's been challenged mentally. Tank Davis is a pretty reserved and quiet dude. I mean, the whole fight build-up against Rolly was laughing, joking, talking shit, trying to clown Tank. Tank, for the most part, just kind of laughed it all off, right? He, towards the end, I think, like the final press conference, he kind of like took some shots at Rolly, but it's not his personality. It's not his personality to get to engage. I mean, he's all business. He's all about we get in the ring and we handle it, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that, but I'm just speaking on the sense of the promotional side of things. That's where Rolly comes in. I mean, Rolly's always going to have that value, right? Like Mayorga used to have. He always had that promotional value, even though he goes up against the top tier fighters. It's like, you know, he's probably going to lose, or at some point in the fight, he's going to burn out, get caught with something. But it's like when you see him on the card, it's like you almost get intrigued to see if maybe he'll like uppercut somebody at a press conference. You know what I mean? So you always have that promotional value. What's up, Jesus? Jesus says if Ryan beats Rolly, they're going to say, here we go, another B-level fighter that he fought, though. I won't say that. I mean, he is a B-level fighter, but I won't say that because there are stepping stones in boxing. What's up, Jeff? There are stepping stones in boxing. You need certain type of fights / fighters on your resume to prove certain things in this game. This is prize fighting. There's a lot that goes into than just how good is my resume. A person like Rolly is a person that adds value to your resume because Rolly is the boogeyman. Not the boogeyman as far as being dangerous per se, but being a agitator. He's a notorious agitator. And he does have ability, you know as well, like I said earlier, he's going to come in, he's going to try to knock your fucking head off. So, see, Tank was able to deal with Rolly because Tank has that boxing IQ. He figured out Rolly Rolly actually, ironically enough, didn't come out as aggressive as I thought he would. He started to turn it up. And at that moment, he started to really turn it up. That's when he got caught. But Tank's got that type of IQ. That's why I want to see Ryan pressured. Because if you fight Tank Davis, it's kind of like a boxing match. I see Tank more or less on the back foot, trying to figure out Ryan's range because Ryan is longer. He's got a decent jab that he stretches out there. He sticks out there. He's pretty good at, landing the right hand. All that right hand, especially against the southpaw, is you need hand speed to be able to get it in there because the distance between my right hand and to my opponent, especially against the southpaw, it's far away. So you need to be able to step in with that right hip, get that hand in there, and I feel like he has that ability. Going forward and putting combinations together, Ryan Garcia is quality, in my opinion. The question is, going backwards, dealing with the person that can counter you, who also has power, that puts you on the back foot. Because if you go back and look at Ryan Garcia's fights, he's more or less, unless he's been hurt in certain situations, he's always been a front-footed fighter, walking you down, ripping to the body, putting combinations together, loading up on shots. That's the type of fighter that he is. So I want to see him be tested against a guy like Rolly, who's going to jump on him, who's going to throw big, wild shots, just like fucking Mayorga used to do. Like, literally, they're almost the same fighter, essentially. And, Rolly's that type of guy that can have a career, when it's all said and done, be 40-5. But of those 40 victories, he can knock out a guy like Ryan Garcia. Right? But then he might lose 5 other times. He might get stopped by Devin Haney. He might get stopped by Shakur. He might get stopped by Tank Davis. But he's that type of guy, because of his style, can have a guy like Ryan Garcia on his resume winning by KO. That's boxing, people. That is boxing. So that's why I wouldn't mind, seeing that fight, personally. But it looks like Rolly's got his eyes on Errol Spence, but that's laughable. That's just never going to happen. I mean, the boxing fan. What's up, big dog? What's up, King of Kings? There's no way the boxing fans are not going to pay any mind to that shit, because we're so fixated, and rightfully so, to get Errol Spence and Bud Crawford. Right? So we ain't paying attention to no damn Rolly Romero at 147. Fuck out of here. But yeah, if you want to talk about Rolly and Ryan at 140, that makes sense. That makes sense. And for anybody out there wondering what my thoughts are about, I know because people are starting to slowly filter in. So I want to kind of place little reminders here and there for people just coming in. Make sure y'all hit the like button when you come in too, y'all. What's up, Devin? What's up, Isaiah? My thoughts on Ryan Garcia, for those who just came in, I think he's a quality fighter. He annoys the shit out of me, just like Tyson Fury does. But, I recognize skill. I've been around the game long enough that, I don't mesh personalities and skills in the ring. There's a lot of fighters out there that annoyed the living shit out of me. who they were as a person, how they talk, how they presented themselves, doing shady shit outside of the ring, doing shady shit at the press conferences. But you can't deny ability or skill. A lot of people hated Michael Jordan. A lot of people hated, or people still do hate, LeBron James. I mean, it is what it is, right? But you can't deny their abilities. And Ryan Garcia is a guy who, you know, he reminds me of that pretty boy Mexican, and back in the day, little pretty boy with this wavy ass hair, thinking that he's all that, trying to hit up all the chicks and shit. And when you go to prom, this motherfucker got a nice little cutie on his shoulder in a nice white dress, acting like he's the king of the world. You know, just like a little preppy Mexican boy. Like, you know, don't disrespect, but I grew up with a lot of these dudes. So, and when they talk, they're just fucking annoying. But it's like Ryan Garcia actually reminds me of somebody that I actually knew in real life back in the day. There was this kid in high school. His name was Javier. He was from Puerto Rico. And very similar. Good looking dude. Always dressing nice. Probably a little, he was like mama's boy and shit. Fucking high school mom still dropping him off and shit. But making sure he's always dressing nice. You know, he can dance and shit. He got a little swag and talk to the ladies, this and that. But he was annoying as fuck. But the thing about him is nobody really fucked with him though, because he boxed and everybody knew that he boxed. As a matter of fact, he got into some type of situation with some dude and they ended up fighting at Burger King. There's a Burger King across the street where I went to school. And he lit this dude up, this Puerto Rican cat. And everyone was like, damn. But he was still annoying as fuck, and most people couldn't stand him. But it's also one of those things that after high school, you know, I don't know whatever happened to that dude. I don't know where he's at, but you know, it's a possibility that some point down along the line, he may have ran into somebody that stood up to him. You know, being humble goes a long way, and I don't know. You know, sometimes when Ryan talks, I'm like, because he talks like, you know, he's all talking about Jesus and I'm humble and I'm thankful. But I don't know, man. I don't know if you really are humble or not. I don't know. I think you've got a lot of yes people around you. I think you got a lot of people gassing you up. I don't want to say it's false bravado, but I mean, we're going to find out, man. We're going to find out. To me, in my opinion, Tank is humble. Tank is a very humble person. He's just, look, I'm blessed. I don't know what to say. Like, I'm blessed, but, you know, I'm just so thankful. You know, Tank doesn't go around and display that bravado and call out fighters and go on Twitter and talk all this shit. You know, when it's time to fight, he shows up and does what he has to do. The problem is that he's not getting those big fights that he needs to get. Right? So that's the thing, right? That's why Ryan Garcia is intriguing, because he has like this kind of two-faced personality, in my opinion. One minute he's all talking about love and Jesus and how humble and thankful I am, and I'm here to love all the fighters, and he's like hugging from Twitter after the fight, and he has that little soft side to him. But then all of a sudden he's out there talking shit, fuck you, and I'm the best, and I'm the king, and you ain't shit. And that bravado comes out, right? That ego comes out, that gassing up comes out very quickly in Ryan. So I don't know yet. And him getting knocked out by a guy like Tank Davis may be the best thing that ever happened to him. Kind of like level him down a little bit, and he would truly be humbled and come out of it and be a better fighter. You know, and that's just the way I see it. But that's why I'm interested to see what Ryan does next. But one thing is for certain, as I said, the walls are closing in on him, man. I'm not going to accept any B-level fighter anymore unless it's Rolly. Rolly's my only exception, because the promotional side of things, and I think Rolly, believe it or not, will challenge Ryan. I think he will. Other than that, it's got to be big names going forward. And he's got a big upside, man. He's at 140 now. And what is he? 5'9.5", 5'10". He's got the frame and the youth to continue to grow and develop and be a 147 pounder and be that guy to challenge the winner of Spence and Crawford. Like, for real. He's got the frame. He's got the ability to grow into that weight naturally. Bud Crawford did it. Bud moved all the way up into 147. Was at 140. Was at 135. Now he's at 147. And now he's getting ready, hopefully, in quotation marks, getting ready to fight Errol Spence to be the undisputed welterweight champion of the world. So Ryan has that upside. He has the aura, I guess you can say, the ingredients, the look, the personality to sell a fight. No matter what division he is in, he's always going to get fans and followers, the people that like him. You know, I mean, just like Oscar De La Hoya. A lot of people, when he was in his heyday, in his prime, Oscar De La Hoya, a lot of people appreciated his skills. And Oscar De La Hoya, hate him or love him, fishnets to the side, the dude was a very talented fighter in his prime. He's one of the best. You can't dispute his resume. He fucking fought everybody, from welterweight to light middleweight. Like, they fought everybody. So a lot of people liked him because of that. A lot of people liked him because he represented the Mexican Americans. But then chicks would tune in and watch an Oscar De La Hoya fight because they just thought he's a pretty dude. They like to watch the pretty boys fight. You know, I remember being a kid watching Oscar De La Hoya, and he got all of these chicks going into the bar just to see Oscar De La Hoya in his ring robe walking into the fucking ring, and they're all screaming and shit. Ryan has that too. He's got like these chicks following him. He's got this, you know, he's got his piece of the pie of boxing fans, and it's a very big piece. It's a very valuable piece. And so he can bring that into any fight that he potentially takes. Yeah. But you know, it's time will tell. Time will tell to see where it goes from here. Let me double check the poll real quick. So, will Ryan Garcia be the one to beat Tank? It's still 78% saying no way. Tank is too skilled. But we do have a 22% saying, yep, watch and see. So we have either some Ryan Garcia fans, or we have some Tank Davis haters, or, you know, maybe they just think that they're not a fan of either one per se, but they think Ryan Garcia has the ability. I don't know, but we do have 22% of the vote saying, yep, watch and see. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much what I wanted to do tonight. I know it's late for a lot of you guys. I would much rather come on a little bit earlier. Would be a bit more ideal. But I try to get it in when I can, and I feel like, I don't know, I just got to put my thoughts out there, do my part, and give you guys my post-fight thoughts at the fight. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to commentate on it live. I'm going to try to make all of my Saturday nights free stateside, which is Sunday morning for me, which is a bitch. But I'm going to try to clear my schedule so that if there's any fight, I'm going to be available to do live commentary, because I know it's something that you guys really enjoy. It's what I'm known for. It's where we really get the chat blowed up and people get in here, jump in here. And a lot of people have subscribed to the channel just simply because they wait for live fights and they want to hear my commentary. So I need to get back into it and make sure that my Saturday nights are free. With that being said, what's up, Teach? with that being said, let me take a look at the schedule, and I will. That is the boxing fight schedule, and I'll let you guys know which fights I will plan to commentate live on. Give me a second. I just got a message from Drew. About to go to bed. No problem. All right. Let's look at the schedule. I'll blow it up for you guys so y'all can see the boxing schedule as well, just so you're aware. I'll share this with you guys. So here's the boxing schedule for I think for at least 6 months. So let me go over and let you guys know which fights that I definitely will plan on doing live commentary. Blow it up a little bit. All right. So we'll take a look at this together. So Saturday we've got Yoel Gonzalez, featherweights. Yeah, probably not going to commentate that one because I have to clear schedules and move things around. I mean, essentially, it's got to be a pretty big fight. I would love to commentate all these fights, but just not able to. So I have to pick and choose. So Saturday the 30th, we have Danny Garcia versus Jose Benavidez Jr. So that's Saturday, July 30th. We also have Gary Antoine Russell on that undercard. That is a card that I will make a note of right now to try and do a live commentary for y'all. So that's Danny Garcia. It'd be good to see Danny Garcia back in the ring. It's been a minute. Let's see if he still got it. He's going up against Jose Benavidez Jr. It's a pretty decent opponent. It'd be a tough challenge. But I also want to see Gary Antoine, see if he continues to shine. So y'all can mark your calendars for July 30th. I see that super chat, Teach, man. I appreciate you immensely, bro. Thank you. All right. Let's go ahead and go down a little bit more. We got Virgil Ortiz and Michael McKinson on Saturday, August 6th. We also have Hank Lundy and Alex Martin on that undercard. We have Amanda Serrano fighting as well in New York on Showtime pay-per-view. And I believe we have so here we have the Jake Paul versus Hasim Rahman Jr. That's an 8-round cruiserweight fight. So that's on August 6th. So we got basically 2 different fights happening on August 6th. I'm not sure. I can't commentate on both of them, so I'm going to have to choose. I'll probably end up doing the Jake Paul and Amanda Serrano. So Amanda Serrano is the main event. Jake Paul and Hasim Rahman is the co-main event. I'll more than likely commentate on that one. Depending on the timing, if it works out, I might be able to catch both. But the plan will be to cover this Jake Paul and Amanda Serrano one. The Virgil Ortiz, Michael McKinson. If I can't commentate it live, I'll give you all a post-fight thought. So that's on August 6th. Then August, Mikey Bay is fighting Tevin Farmer on August 12th. Probably won't commentate on that one. Then we got Teofimo Lopez making his comeback against Pedro Campa, whoever the fuck that is. Obviously a comeback fight, a tune-up. That's a maybe. That'll be a maybe. And then, of course, August 20th, we have the big heavyweight match. That's a guarantee. Y'all going to get commentary on that fight. That's a big undercard as well. A lot of different fights on that undercard. Yeah, so that's a Usyk Joshua fight on August 20th. That will be, I'll commentate on that. That's a guarantee. Y'all can put your money on that. As a matter of fact, I already have a prediction video up about this fight. So if y'all haven't seen my prediction video of Usyk and Joshua, go to my channel, man. Make sure you guys check it out. Hear my prediction, because this is what happens. People don't pay attention to the uploads. So when I go live and start commentating on the fight, everyone comes in, yo, Devon, bro, like, so what was your prediction of the fight? It's like, bro, you didn't watch my shit. Bro, you got to watch my shit. That's the whole point. So make sure y'all drop by and go to my channel and watch that. And at the very least, hit the damn like button. Get the like ups on that on the fight prediction videos, bro. That shit's important for boxing. It's important for the channel. Hit that like button. It's free. But I will be commentating on that fight, guaranteed. It's a huge fight, obviously. Rematch, heavyweight match. All the titles back on the line. And yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. As a matter of fact, probably sometime this month, I'll be doing a Firestorm panel. Hopefully bring on Drew, bring on Stormy B-Man, bring on whoever else is available to come in and give their fight predictions of this heavyweight rematch. So if you're one of those people that would like to be on that Firestorm panel, make sure to hit me up, message me on IG if you follow me on IG. If you're not, you should be anyways, at Divine Sense Boxing on IG. Or you can email me as well. Also at divinesenseboxing@gmail. Sorry, Divine Sense Reborn. Divine Sense Reborn @gmail. Then we got Andy Ruiz against Luis Ortiz on September 4th. I will commentate that fight as well. And then, of course, September 17th, we have a big one here with Canelo Alvarez and Golovkin. Arturo already knows my thoughts about this fight. I am not thrilled. I am not thrilled, to say the least, about a Canelo Alvarez-Golovkin third fight. But I probably will commentate it just because it's Canelo Alvarez. And I've got to, because it garners a fan base that will value my commentary. So I'm not intrigued. I'm not motivated, but I'll be there commentating nonetheless. We also have Clarissa Shields and Savannah Marshall fighting as well the week before that. A lot more, women fights, man, on these main events, on these pay-per-view pay-per-view. This one's on ESPN Plus and Sky. That's nice, man. That's nice. And we got Shakur Stevenson against Robson Conceição. Wow. That's an interesting fight, actually, on September 23rd. Wow. I think Conceição is a lot better than what people give him credit for. I think he's styled up on Valdez, man. That I actually thought he got robbed. Very interesting style matchup here. Looking forward to that one, too. Then we got Jermell Charlo and Tim Tszyu on January 28th. Yeah, damn, they got that shit all the way until next year. I can't think that far ahead. But anyways, hell of a fight. Hell of a fight to be made with Tim Tszyu in there. Jermell Charlo, the champion. Looks like he's going to defend all of his belts against Tim Tszyu. So that's not until January next year. But look, man, we got some hell of good fights on the card. And hopefully, in the next goddamn week or two, Spence and Bud will be on this list somewhere. Probably, I don't know, maybe in November. So we can slide that shit in right under this Shakur Stevenson Robson Conceição fight right here. We can slide that bitch right there in November for Spence and Crawford. Hopefully. So yeah, man, a lot of quality fights on the horizon. For those of you who just jumped in, my next live commentary will be Danny Garcia versus Jose Benavidez. That'll be on July 30th. All right. So y'all look forward to that. My next live will be the Jake Paul, Amanda Serrano, that whole fight card, which will be on August 6th. All right. So, and then the Teofimo Lopez Pedro Campo fight, that's a big maybe. And of course, August 20th, the rematch, Usyk and Joshua. Well, I will also commentate for sure. So there you have it. The next 3 fights or so that I plan to commentate, so y'all can make a mental note and be ready for that. And like I said, man, if you haven't watched my prediction video of Usyk and Joshua, y'all missing out. Y'all missing out. And I keep seeing people saying here, oh, I don't get notifications. I know that's a huge issue. With a lot of people. First thing is you got to make sure that you got the notification bell clicked. You got to. And then secondly, you got to, one second here. Oh, you got to go to your subscriptions part of your homepage. So when you go to homepage on YouTube, whether you're on your phone or laptop, you got to go to subscriptions and scroll through. That's what I always do, because if you stay on the homepage, it just gets muddled with all types of shit, especially if you're a person like me that you watch a lot of different boxing channels. You're not going to get everybody that's going live. I miss Stormy B-Man all the damn time. And I'm like, I know Stormy's live right now. He's got to be going live. I have to go to my subscriptions, and there he is live, but it doesn't show up on my home feed. So make sure y'all pay attention to that. But anyways, if y'all go to, let me share this with you guys. If y'all go to my profile on YouTube, like my channel profile, right? It's right here. You got to go to uploads, and it's right here. Right here. Usyk will shock Anthony Joshua again. Right? So obviously the title is a dead giveaway on who I'm predicting to win the fight, but I do break it down and I explain exactly why. And I also talked about Joshua and the potential of him actually doing much better. So, like I said, at the very least, go click on it and hit that like button. Help get the likes up. That way we can get true boxing voices out there and none of this muddled down bullshit that you guys see all across YouTube all the time when it comes to boxing. And that's how we help grow the voice in this channel in particular. And with your guys' help, we can make it happen. So that is pretty much it, guys. Gave you guys my post-fight thoughts about the Ryan Garcia and Fortuna fight. I talked a little bit about Ryan Garcia and what I think about him as a fighter. I talked about the future on who I think he should fight next. And we laid it all out on this live. So if you guys missed it, this will be uploaded. You can rewind it, go back, revisit my thoughts. But that'll be it for now. I know it's laid out where you guys are at, man. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. And I think the next business at hand will be a Firestorm panel talking about Usyk Joshua, Canelo Triple G, the third fight, and possibly Shakur and Robson Constanzao. And I might sprinkle in some Jake Paul and Hasim Rahman. So that's a big topic panel that I have planned that I'll try to get other channels engaged with and hype up this Firestorm panel, man. You guys know how it goes down. So if you haven't hit that like button, go ahead and do that. Get the likes all the way up. If you guys like the content, it always matters when you share the videos with friends and family. Help get the voice out there. That all helps in the long term of things. When we do these big fights and we have these big fight parties, then you have friends and family members that you know in the chat as well, engaging, watching the fight together. So share the videos on your Instagram, Twitters, etc., etc. And I'll be back with another one here soon. For everybody that came in, dropping in the super chats and hitting the like button, and continue to show love. I appreciate you immensely. You guys continue to motivate me to come on the mic and do what I do. Y'all stay up, stay strong, stay positive. It's your boy Divine. I'm out.
That's my bad boy.